am 75 years old, and I finally understand the biggest mistake of my life. The painful truth is that I realized it far too late. My house is large, my bank account is comfortable, and by many standards, people would say I succeeded in life. But every night, the silence inside this house reminds me of something money could never buy back. There are no voices in the living room, no laughter from children, and no one waiting for me at the dinner table. Just memories echoing through empty rooms. For decades, I believed I was building a better life for my family. Now I see something I refused to admit back then. I spent my entire life chasing success, while slowly losing the people who mattered most. Many years ago, I had a warm and loving family. My wife was patient and kind, and my young son would run to the door every evening hoping to see me come home. But most nights, I returned late, exhausted, and distracted by work. I told myself I was doing everything for them. One evening my son stood by the door holding a drawing he made at school. His eyes were bright with excitement, waiting for me to look at it. But I barely glanced at the paper before saying, "Not now, son. Dad is tired." I didn't realize that the word later, which I use so often, slowly became a wall between us. When I turned 40, my career finally began to take off. I was promoted to a higher position and started earning more money than I ever had before. I felt proud of myself. I believed I was providing a comfortable life for my family, something my own father could never give us. We moved into a bigger house, bought a new car, and I made sure my son attended a good school. On the outside, it looked like the perfect life, but success demanded more and more of my time. I stayed longer at the office, traveled for business, and missed more family moments than I can count. One night my wife sat down with me and tried to talk. She gently told me that our son was beginning to feel distant from me. She said he needed his father, not just the things money could buy. But at that time, I was too proud and too focused on my career to listen. I told her she didn't understand the pressure I was under. I insisted that everything I did was for our future. After that conversation, she never brought it up again. At the time, I believed I had won that argument. Now I realize that in that moment, I had already begun losing something far more important. Years passed faster than I expected. My son grew older, and somehow I was absent from most of his important moments. I missed his first school performance, his sports competitions, and even his graduation ceremony. Each time he asked if I could come, I always had another meeting or another business trip. I promised him that someday I would make it up to him. I told him that once my work settled down, we would spend more time together. But time does not wait for promises. Without me noticing, the little boy who once waited at the door grew into a young man who stopped waiting entirely. When my son reached his 20s, he decided to move to another city. He said he wanted to start his own life and career. I told myself that this was normal. After all, many young people leave home to find their own path. But deep down, I didn't realize that he had already grown used to living without me. After that, we rarely spoke. Sometimes he called, but our conversations were short and awkward. The bond that should have existed between father and son slowly faded into something distant and unfamiliar. It felt less like family and more like two people connected only by memories. A few years later, my wife became seriously ill. For the first time in decades, I began spending more time at home. I reduced my work and stayed by her side as much as I could. But the house felt different now, quiet, heavy, and strangely empty. One night she held my hand and spoke softly. She said she never needed the big house, the expensive things, or the comfortable lifestyle I worked so hard to build. All she ever wanted was more time together as a family. Her words struck my heart, but even then, I didn't fully understand their weight. When my wife passed away a few years later, the silence became unbearable. The house that once symbolized my success now felt like a monument to my mistakes. Every room reminded me of the moments I had missed and the time I could never take back. I began to think about my entire life. For decades, I believed success meant working harder, earning more, and climbing higher. But in the end, all those achievements meant very little compared to the relationships I had neglected. Money had given me comfort, but it could never replace lost time. At the age of 75, I finally gathered the courage to call my son. My voice trembled as I told him I wanted to apologize. I admitted that I regretted missing so many moments of his life. For several seconds, there was only silence on the other end of the phone. Eventually, he spoke calmly. He said he knew I had worked hard for the family, but growing up without his father had been painful. His words were not angry, just honest. And somehow, that honesty hurt even more because I knew he was telling the truth I had avoided for years. Now, at 75, I live with a lesson that came too late. I have learned that the most valuable thing you can give the people you love is your time. Money can always be earned again. Success can always be rebuilt. But time, once gone, can never return. If there is one thing I wish people understood before it's too late, it is this: do not wait until old age to realize what truly matters. Because the greatest mistake of my life was not choosing my career. It was failing to give my family the time they deserved while I still had it.